gentlemen, the champion, Chris Weidman.
Not one, but 2 titles are up for grabs at UFC 187. With the return of undefeated champion Chris Weidman.
10 to go, let's work, quick hands.
He will take on challenger Vitor Belfort, whose string of head kick knockouts have forced the champion to take notice.
I have to be prepared for a guy who's training his butt off to put on the best performance he's ever had to put on.
The highly anticipated match between the old school and the new finally goes down.
I have the pleasure to see my resume. I fought the best guys in the sport. That's my business. I want to fight the best.
UFC 187's co-main event features a title fight between undefeated champion Chris Weidman and 18-year veteran Vitor Belfort.
Vitor Belfort trying to finish off Tiger. Huge kick.
Belfort is tied for the second most finishes in UFC history, trailing only Anderson Silva. 12 of those finishes have been in the first round, and he is at the top of that list, making him a formidable force right out of the gate. Weidman, however, has never been outstruck in his UFC career. He's also taken down every opponent he has ever faced. And his 8-fight UFC win streak leads every man on the promotion's roster. For Chris Weidman, the past year and a half has been about validation. Anderson Silva had ruled the middleweight division for nearly 7 years, and it would take more than a few fights for Weidman to prove he is a man fit for the crown.
UFC middleweight championship is on the line.
After beating arguably the greatest fighter there ever was, people still didn't believe. They said he got lucky.
Here we go, again.
So there was a rematch. This time, they said it was a freak injury. So when Weidman was booked to fight another former champion in Lyoto Machida, it was a chance to prove that the Silva wins were legitimate. A chance to validate himself as the one true champion.
I love this fight. I'm fascinated by this fight. If Weidman can beat Machida like he did Anderson Silva, nobody will deny this guy.
My game plan going to the fight was just go out there and try to break his will. That's really the goal every time, is I'm just trying to break these guys' wills so they want to lose.
Here we go. Weidman very confident in his skills everywhere in a fight.
Breathe. All we want you to do is breathe. You look awesome, baby. Great first round.
Ray Longo very pleased with Weidman's performance thus far. Lyoto takes some punishment here at the end of the second.
Lyoto is a bloody mess.
Yeah.
And he's getting battered.
And this, by far, as deep as Weidman has gone in his professional career.
Going to the 4th round, I kind of was like walking forward carelessly, and he started hitting me with some big strikes and kind of underestimating his fighting spirit and how much he really wanted to win this fight and what it meant to him.
Good left hook by Lyoto.
And before you know it, I'm walking backwards and getting hit with shots.
Weidman is backing up for the first time.
He got hit a couple of times, but I think what Lyoto found out is this kid's a big 185, and even after unloading on him, he got the old, is that it?
We got ourselves a fight.
Weidman was able to show championship resolve and turn it on in the 5th, securing him the victory.
What a fight!
It was a great fight for a lot of reasons. He knows he can go 5 rounds now. He knows he can keep a high volume. I think it'll pay off in the future. Great growing fight.
Now I know for a fact I'm the best in the world, and I know what it takes to stay up top.
Chris Weidman proved tonight that he is the real deal.
None of these guys at 85 would beat me.
I expect greatness. I live every day, achieve greatness. The way I brush my teeth, the way I make my breakfast, the way I treat my wife. When you live with greatness in you, and you know are you doing your best, that's the only thing I can expect is greatness.
In mixed martial arts today, most will dream, but only some will achieve. Others will become great, though only through a lifetime of dedication. But for a select few, they are born winners. UFC middleweight title challenger Vitor Belfort is one of those men.
Vitor Belfort is the winner!
At just 13 years old, he knew he would make fighting a profession and become one of the elite.
I was 13 years old when I met Carlson Gracie. He's one of the legends, one of the guys who created this sport. And he looked at me and he said, "Victor, you got talent." And he said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to do Vale Tudo." You know, Vale Tudo is mixed martial arts back in the days. And he said, "Wow, you're so young." I said, "Yeah, that's gonna be my advantage." Can you imagine when I'm 18 years old? And he said, "Wow." I was a dreamer, and the more I feed my dream, and the more the dream became real.
A Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fighter, 19 years old, standing 6 feet tall.
Vitor would first enter the octagon at 19 years old, debuting at UFC 12.
They say I'll fight big guys. You know, I was raised by that culture that the size doesn't matter.
Real fast hands by Belfort.
So I always knew that in my mind, my speed and my power, I can beat anybody.
The Phenom was born, and he would spend his 20s pursuing dreams of greatness.
That's what everyone is scared of when they fight this guy. He's just got unbelievably explosive speed.
At 26, he would become light heavyweight champion, defeating MMA legend Randy Couture. And now, 18 years into making fighting a profession, his mindset hasn't changed. His dedication never faltered.
I want to fight the best guys. You know, I have the pleasure to see my resume. I fought the best guys in the sport, and that's part of my legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champion, Chris Weidman!
What a good is to beat someone that you can beat anytime. No, I want to fight the best.
And for Chris Weidman, the Belfort fight is the final step in ushering in the next generation at middleweight.
Appreciate it, Chris.
This fight with Vitor Belfort is the end of the era of these guys I'm fighting that have been there forever. You know, Anderson Silva, he's a legend. Lyoto Machida is a legend. And Vitor Belfort is a legend. It's the last 185er that I'm going to have to beat from Brazil. That's a legend. So it's exciting for me to finish off that chapter and then kind of move on.
As champion, Chris Weidman can afford the luxury of bringing in specific training partners to help him prepare for these all-important title fights. Enter Stephen Thompson, whose moniker of Wonder Boy is rather fitting. He began winning kickboxing titles at age 16 and amassed a 56-0 record with 39 KOs before entering the UFC. For Wonder Boy, fighting is in his blood.
Georges St. Pierre said is the best striker that he has ever trained with.
And his unique striking skill set is a major obstacle for any opponent.
Okay, ready? Sound of the bell. First round.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, we originally brought in to help us get ready for Anderson Silva, the first fight with Anderson Silva.
You know, I have a very similar striking set as Anderson. I've sparred and fought with world champions and great strikers. So I can kind of simulate whoever Chris is going to be fighting.
Against the cage closer, Chris. Don't give him any space.
Anderson Silva, he felt slow compared to Wonder Boy. Lyoto Machida felt slow compared to Wonder Boy.
Time! Great job, guys. Great job.
Vitor Belfort is a very explosive fighter. He does throw those crazy, Taekwondo kicks, and I can kind of throw those out there for Chris, so he gets out there and sees what it's going to be like to fight Vitor Belfort.
Chris has fought like 3 southpaws in a row, and he fights out of a southpaw lead. He's got quick hands, he's got quick feet, he's great for the reflexes, so he's a really big addition to the camp.
Weidman's opponent, Vitor Belfort, has been a man that, despite the longevity of his career, never stopped developing. 16 years into his career, he would headline a show in his native Brazil against longtime top contender Michael Bisping and show a side of Vitor Belfort the world hadn't seen.
There it is again, that left high kick, and Bisping is opened up and in all sorts of trouble. That'll do it. Vitor Belfort has done it.
He would next face Luke Rockhold, a former Strikeforce champ boasting a 10-1 record with 8 first-round finishes. Same result, but this time it was in the first round. Then it was Dan Henderson, who had held 2 belts in Pride simultaneously, an MMA legend.
And they'll drop it down, and Belfort drops it. Vitor Belfort trying to finish off Henderson. Huge kick. Mergliano steps in. Vitor Belfort has done it again. Left kick once again.
With 3 straight unbelievable knockouts against formidable opponents, there was no way the UFC could deny Vitor Belfort another shot at the title.
I was searching for talents. I believe if you surround yourself with great people, and especially people that wanted to be somebody, every day I'm winning. So life is like that.
And go. Work.
I brought we call him Little Rubber. He pretty tough kid, like 235 pounds.
That's it, move.
Pretty heavy, and this guy can take and he can give you.
Up and down, change your levels. Very good.
Today I was kind of pushing him a little bit more. And he's the type of guy that stand on the pocket. He's pretty tough, man. I'm telling you, he has some great future. 24 years old,
Yeah, grind.
I'm trying to extract from them their youth. I give you 1 year of my knowledge. I can take 1 year of your youth. So I'm trying to negotiate with these young guys here in the camp, and it's been great. It's been working very well for both of us.
When I got to fighting, my base, I come from a wrestling base. It's something I've been doing since I was a little kid. Some of the wrestlers lose their wrestling when they get into the MMA career because they stop wrestling. They focus more on kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, but I really made a point to never stop wrestling.
The wrestling to him is important because he feels like if he could be in wrestling shape, fighting shape, easy.
Physically, you feel like you want to quit. Mentally, sometimes you may feel like you want to quit. Wrestling toughens you, just spiritually, mentally.
If you're in wrestling shape to go 5-minute rounds of wrestling, 5-minute rounds of fighting, be cake.
Vitor is a guy who's very explosive. He's well-rounded. He's got great punching, great boxing, great kickboxing. I think what I have that a lot of other guys might have not had that he has fought is that I'm going to be in his face. I'm going to have a pressure that's not going to stop. I'm going to break his will.
Chris is going around beating the legends that we watched, the reason we got into the sport. Vitor was one of those guys that we watched. Anderson was one of those guys, and now he's about to put that last one to sleep, and literally and figuratively, and it'll be fun to watch him do it to Vitor instead of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ready for a tune-up? Yeah. You don't need much of a tune-up.
Yeah.
How you doing, my friend?
It's very important, I think, physiologic to have someone that knows, recovery is the key.
So what we're going to do first, Vitor, is I'm going to use this heavy-duty massage machine that we've done before.
Especially a guy with the type of mileage that I have in my body, so it's very important. We're in the middle of this battle. Like, I have my team, my opponent has his team. We're competing for championship as the biggest can get. But you're looking 19 years ago, and I'm here again. It's a joy. Many guys could have been in my place, but I deserve it. Nobody put me there. I earned the spot through sacrifice.
Sometimes you need to be a little bit more aggressive with the body in order to get the energy moving the way that you want it to move. The great thing about Vitor is that he knows the benefits of this therapy. He's been using it for a major part of his career. So we'll provide some electrostimulation or microcurrent.
I learned that pain was the road of success.
While Belfort still spends time training with the likes of Rashad Evans and Anthony Rumble Johnson at the Black Zillions, last year Vitor opened his own gym, OTB Fight, a facility perfectly tailored to his needs and a place he could call home.
To fight the best, you gotta prepare the best. So I don't have a day off, you know what I mean? This gym open 24 hours a day for me.
Pull. Good. Good. And switch. 10 to go. Let's work. Quick hands here. Quick hands.
Vitor's age doesn't really matter because he has the work ethic and the drive and the inner motivation. And I wish that guys half his age had the same that he has.
All right, third one. Straddle push-up.
Chop! Chop!
Good. 2 left. Come on. 5 to go. Keep moving. Quick, quick, quick. Go. Let's work. Come on. Push it. Push it. Push it.
It's all about preparation. If we need to fight 10, 5-minute round, that's it is, 10. It's 20-20.
And go. Let's work. Come on. Round 3 here. Let's go.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm more than ready.
Time good.
And at UFC 187, Belfort will have an opportunity to not only beat the undefeated champion in Chris Weidman, but to become just the 3rd man in UFC history to win a belt in 2 different weight classes. And join the likes of BJ Penn and Randy Couture.
I'm excited, man. I'm about to make history. What a joy, what a journey. The time is now, it's my time.
Let's go. Hard as you can go, back and forth, hard. Answer right back, no gap. You gotta push the other guy. You can break a guy in this drill.
This is obviously my most important fight of my life, and I know it feels the same for Vitor. He's gonna get his chance to fight for the belt again.
Let's go, chin down, opposite sides of the bag, right here. Vitor's, he is a legend in this business. Yeah, he was there when he was 19, he was a champion.
Sprint, touch the wall, come back, and then reverse it right away. Go, let's do it.
Definitely not taking this fight light. We respect him, he's got great hands. He's on a tear.
Let's go, 10 push-ups, last minute, right here.
I definitely have my hands full, but I have the same mentality I've had in my other fights. I cannot lose this fight. I am not losing this fight.
Drop, 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 drop. Nice, Chris.
Cardio is gonna be my biggest attribute in this fight. I'm not gonna stop until I finish him.
Last one, bury it. Ish. Nice, walk around and breathe, perfect. Breathe, deep.
On May 23rd at UFC 187, 4 men will battle over 2 of the most sought-after titles in the UFC. Chris Weidman must defeat one more in a long line of legendary Brazilian fighters.
I couldn't ask for any greater opponents. My weight class is crazy. There's so many great guys coming up, and I'm really excited for the future.
But Vitor Belfort wants to prove that there's still fight left within him.
You cannot fight for the championship without earning. This is as real as it gets.
Anthony Johnson has the opportunity to put an exclamation point on his career rebirth.
I just want to fight for the belt. I don't care who it is, who's across the cage. I'm going to fight them the same.
And for Daniel Cormier, it's all about redemption.
Outside of my children, and the day Selena said, yes, she'll marry me, there's nothing that's going to feel better than to have Dana White stand behind me and put that belt on my waist. A lifetime goal that's finally been accomplished. To be the best in the world at something.
Let's go right through the bit.